Hello, welcome to Thor Talk, the show all about Marvel's resident god of thunder, where I discuss Thor feats, battles, story arcs, villains, and more. The Punisher Netflix series just came out, so on this episode of Thor Talk, we're going to look at the time Thor fought the Punisher. All this and some wisdom from a warrior on Thor Talk.
I am Thor the Thunderer, son of Odin, prince of Asgard. I am an Avenger, and this world is under my protection.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Punisher Warzone Volume 2, Number 3 was written by Greg Rucka and was published in January of 2013. In this miniseries, Spider-Man has finally convinced the Avengers to try to bring in the Punisher. First, Black Widow attempts to bring him in, but he evades her, so Captain America sends in the big guns. In Indonesia, Thor confronts a military vehicle and grabs its driver to get information about the Punisher. The man who wears the skull. He has been hunting your organization. Where did he strike you last? The terrified man responds, I. 6 eyes in one breath. I would take it you are stalling for time to allow your companions to launch their attack. The Thunder God tosses Mjolnir behind his back. An attack from behind. The hammer knocks the hiding soldiers to the ground. A coward's attack. Mjolnir knocks the final man unconscious. I am not fond of cowardice, my friend. Mjolnir returns to his hand. Fortunately for you, I am a benevolent god. All I ask is an answer to my question, and you shall be free to go. However, before the man can respond, a hiding Punisher launches a rocket at them, and then runs into the jungle. Thor rises unscathed, but surrounded by the remains of the Punisher's enemies. I am no man's bait. Thor flies after the Punisher, who gives chase in his jeep. Punisher drives out into an open clearing, revealing the base of the men he was hunting. Punisher fires a few rounds at them before Thor arrives. He realizes that Punisher lured him here so that he could take care of the men he was hunting. Thor decides to play his game. Very well, says Thor, as he flies over a shell that narrowly misses him and throws Mjolnir at a tank, easily destroying it. And as it returns to his hand, he sends out a blast of lightning that goes into every direction and devastates the base, knocking vehicles, tanks, and people aside. The battle is ended. A dazed Punisher rises and attempts to point his gun at Thor, but the Odinson holds his arm back and says, "No. This battle is ended, I said." He tells him that they will speak, and he knocks him out with one punch. Punisher awakes to find Thor, who offers him a beer. The two drink as Thor shares his wisdom with him. Thor asks him if he has abandoned all life in pursuit of his war. "This war is my life," replies Castle. "Then you fight for nothing." Thor tells him that he knows him very well. He knows his madness. He fights because he doesn't know how to not fight. Punisher tells him that he fights in a war. No. You have made a war so that you may fight. You make war so that you may murder. Which begs the question, have you become the enemy? Thor leaves Punisher with his weapons, telling him to end his war. He flies away, leaving the Punisher to think on his wisdom. So, it turns out a fight between the God of Thunder and a vigilante isn't very long, which of course isn't very surprising. While Superman may have a major weakness that Batman can exploit to make their fights more even, Thor doesn't have a kryptonite of his own, and Punisher likely wouldn't be able to get his hands on it anyway. Instead, most of their confrontation was spent with Thor offering the Punisher advice, because Thor has been there and he understands. In his youth he courted war, and he sought conflict in order to fight because he loved to fight. Now he's moved past that, and he wants Frank Castle to move past it as well. Well, that's all for this episode of Thor Talk. If you want to keep up with Thor Talk and all Thor-related news, follow Thor Talk on Instagram at Thor Talk. You can also keep up with and support Thor Talk by simply subscribing. Once again, I'd like to formally state that all art and videos owned by its respected companies, and I own none of it. With that said, see you next time on Thor Talk, where...
You'll behold in breathless wonder.